Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Transport Fever in the year 1947. And as you can see, we've got a weird mix of early electrics and steam going on at the moment. And we're just outside Paris where we're watching the crocodile that hauls construction materials make a quick drop off. Only a partial load there, but 156,000. And as we have a look at its finance chart, it does make a profit on a year-to-year basis, and that's exactly what we bought it for. That's the whole point of the thing, is to make profit on a year-to-year basis. Now, the numbers overall are up, as you would hope. Every time you invest in something new, you hope it does pay off to an extent. This year is a little inflated because we've had not one but two of our waterborne bulk carriers arrive and make a fairly sizable amount of cash, but for the most part everything is going according to plan. Since you were last here, I've paid down my loan by 10 million. I know it's me, it's definitely me, and I've definitely paid my loan off. Well, a third of it. But the first thing I'm going to do today is, before even the bombastic thingy opening starts doing its, big exciting opening thing, is I'm going to buy a new train. And that train is going to be a Flying Scotsman, because I want a new passenger line in, well, I don't want a new passenger line. I'd love a new passenger line, but we are so far away from actually being able to accomplish that. No, we need a new train on the European mainline in order to hopefully make a bit more cash out of it. Although as another piece of thought there. Now you see, I would love a third one on there. So get a third one on there. Don't second guess yourself. A third one is the right thing to do. What I was thinking here is faster trains make more money per kilometre. So I'm going to cash for that. Let's borrow the entire loan back again. Why else would you pay it off if not to borrow it again? So the slowest train on a particular route, the greater the kilometre earning rate is. So the number of dollars made per kilometre, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, will do the trick nicely. So sometimes you are better off upgrading 2 out of the 3 trains you've got on there, retiring the third one, rather than increasing the number of trains overall. In this case, however, given the number of passengers I have waiting for my fine services to actually, turn up, I am better off getting another one and then booking the other 2 trains on this line to get themselves into a relatively modern position. Anyway, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to hang around for a little bit and make a bit more cash, but after we've done that, expansion! Exclamation mark. I'm not entirely sure what that actually means, but there we go. That's what the goal is. Stick around and you'll find out if we can figure out exactly what that means. Well, there's a shot that is, sure to get everybody happy. Look at all of that business. Either you appreciated it or you didn't. If you didn't appreciate it, I would argue that this potentially is not the video series for you. Anyway, yes, so we're following along with this Flying Scotsman on the main line, and when it arrives, it should make a nice chunk of change. And as I was saying before, if it were the slowest train on this route, the per hour earning or the per kilometre earning would be higher. So if we look at the details, if we look at the finances, if we look at the route and hang on vehicles, you'll see that we're making 2.6 thousand to 7,000, give or take, per kilometre travelled. Now, if we compare that, you weren't ready for me to fly all the way across the Atlantic there. There we go, there's one. No, you, here, come here. If we compare that to the North American Intercity here, which is also making the same amount of money because it's got the same top speed. Thanks very much. That proved absolutely nothing. Thanks for playing. Good job. Maybe a Dakota will give us a slightly crisper demonstration of things. So this is the Toronto to Dublin, obviously, and it's making 3.5. See, 3,500 per kilometre because it's quite a bit faster. There, I've either proved a point there or I haven't, or I've got the wrong end of the stick entirely. Take away from that whatever you will. Right, yes, we were talking expansion, and before, we can do any of that, I'm going to make some cash, which means I need to fill some time. Right, how fast do you chaps go? 19 on here. I suspect you're capable of a little more. No, maybe not. What the hell are these? These should be Fords. What's going on here? What are you? No, you don't look particularly Fordish. Replacement vehicles. Set the vehicle. Now, we did have a new truck recently, and it's organising it in a very mysterious way. It's going to be the Studebaker. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm all about it. Yeah, give me Studebakers. Lots of them. Studebakers for everybody. Now, this is not going to be an inexpensive replacement here, but it's going to be worth it, although I will have to upgrade the road as well. Well, that's never held me back. And then the crude oil line, let's get that replaced as well. The reason being that, or the thinking behind it, is that by replacing with vehicles that can haul a little bit more, you start to meet the increased demand that comes with expansion of things over time. I'm explaining this like an absolute champion. That as stuff demands more stuff, yes, having the same number of vehicles, yes, vehicles, that's a word, that you had on there previously helps. I'm giving up. I can't put that into words. I think you possibly know what I'm talking about. No, I'm not going to have another go. So I'm so tempted to try and explain it again, but I can't even put it into real words. So I'm not going to. Right, where's all my flipping cash? I am running low on cash, and that's the opposite of what I'd hoped. Although we have Studebaked all of those already. Good job. Right, let's do that, and then maybe I'll be able to upgrade this flipping road without it complaining about colliding with stuff. Upgrade, please. Construction's not possible. Why not? Well, in this case, it's because that's in the way. There's always something in the way. Oh, dearie me. All right, we're just going to have to do it manually then. Right, pause again. Pause the flipping game here. We're going to need your friend and mine, the bulldozer. Get rid of all of this. Modernize. Get rid of that. Get rid of this and that and those. And then build a nice big fat superhighway. Now, one of the things that I'd considered doing, and this is why we're here in the first place, rather than me just rambling on, without much agenda going on. There is an agenda here, and that agenda is that I did consider briefly replacing the truck service that I've currently got on my fuel refinery gig. I'd considered replacing that for a train service. It's not a bad thought to have, and I'm sure some of you would have thought the same thing. Why don't you replace that with some trains? They're faster and they haul more, and you're going to have a tough time getting this bit of road to connect up. Let's get that out of the way, and that, and then let's see if we can connect up to there. Right, take that like that, and then a bit of this. Construction's possible. Tell me, yeah, it is. It is possible. Don't tell me it's not possible. It's possible. Construction possible is here. Like that. See, told you. And do that as well. Right. Yes. What? Where were we going here? Yes. All right. Why not replace this with train instead of the truck services that I'm using right now? The other thing that was pointed out is that I could be using this truck stop to service both purposes. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So why am I not doing it? Reasons. Reorganization. I do want to switch it to being train only at some point, not today. But I want to, there's always, multiple projects on the go, and that's not the one I want to do right now. Today's project, if I get the cash, and this stops fighting me at every kern? I was torn between corner and turn there, and I fell between those two chasms, and I fell into the chasm between those two cliffs. Forget it. Move on. Yes, no, the goal today, now that that's up and running again, this seems to be, trotting along quite swiftly. We're at moderate speed, largely because I don't want to be waiting around for cash forever. The goal is to start to modernise the North American mainline as well. There is money that I am leaving on that table, and I intend to take the money off that table and put it into my back pocket and then spend it. So let's go and review that situation. So hopefully, with greater capacity going on here, we should fill everything that comes in. That said, we've already got, what's your capacity? It's 250, 150. As you so rightly put it. Let's have a look. I was pretty sure we'd had a new tanker come in. Vandal, Bulker, no. No, the Vandal is the top of that particular food chain right now. So yeah, I mean, we're already delivering enough fuel here to fill stuff up. And these tankers are paying off very nicely. Every time they make a drop off, there is a happy feeling in my bank account. Come on, a little bit more. There we are. Excellent. That's, given at the end of the year is rolling around, that will save me just a little bit on interest. What do we got? It's a Selb Stent Lard Wagen, and then a high score in Scrabble. Good. I really don't know what that means. But yes, I've got the number of things that we're trying to accomplish at the moment is ridiculous. So let's hit New York and look at the main line, where there is almost certainly a mainline train. One mainline train, thank you. So the North American Intercity here has got 4 trains on it right now. And how old are you? 30 years old. And 4 years. You're the one who had a cheeky upgrade without my permission. 26 and 3. Did I upgrade 2 of them? Oh, that would be a catastrophic bit of take your eye off the ball there. Anyway, yeah. So the aim is to get the price per kilometre up on the North American Intercity, given that it's currently sat at 269. That's right, 269. It would be nice to get that up a little bit higher. Now, it could be that the sensible way to do this would be to set up a new line entirely that may be shuttled between, I don't know, maybe Charlotte and Toronto. So skipping New York entirely, thereby cannibalizing some of the main route. But the upshot would be, I've got some cash here, so I might save this while I ponder this as a notion. The reason for doing this would be because we could just give me track. Just, don't fight me, don't electrify it. Just give me some track. Yeah, the reason for doing this simply would be that the route that we ran down here would be as fast as whatever train we stuck on it. So if I put a faster train than the what am I running on the other one? They're not Americans. They're Atlantics. That's the fella. Yeah. So if if it were faster than the Atlantic, we would make more cash. And actually, we could get away with probably just running one train on here. Either way, that's what I'm going to pursue. I think what we'll try and get is an Alco on here, running between Charlotte and Toronto. Just the one. Now it's going to cost me the best part of, I dread to think, probably $15 million to get it set up. So that's not something that's going to just you know, miraculously appear in my bank account overnight. We're gonna have to work on getting that. But we are going to, you know, we're going to mirror the rest of the route that we've got going on right now. But I only need one bit of track, given that we're only going to run one train. Although, of course, you turning up there, pal, has meant that I've got to bulldoze your house. It's not what I wanted to do. It's certainly not how I wanted to spend what piddling amounts of money I've actually got available to me. That's a disappointment. Anyway, there is no choice in the matter, and therefore I'm making you homeless. Terribly sorry. Get out. Expensive. Right, carry on this way. Now, I could, you know, I could run this service up the existing track. The only downside of that, of course, is that if you get a slower service in front of you, well, there goes your speedy service. That's that, you know, put paid to. So instead, I will run this third track for now until we come up with a superior alternative. And the superior alternatives are connecting up the cities that I haven't dealt with at all yet, of which there are at least 5 or 6 that I simply haven't done anything with. Now, what have we got here? Where are we? This is Tonto. And have you got a bit of track for me here? Yeah, we're going to come in over there. All right. Now it's already got quite a nice angle that has clearly been worked out for some purpose in the future. So instead of relaying the track that's there now, what we'll do is we'll just merge onto it. We're just going to merge onto it. No? All right, let's go like that. And then we'll drag it around, and with a bit of luck, we'll get on there without bleeding too much speed off. There we go. Right, so that's route worthy. Well, to an extent. Right, new route. From Tonto to Charlotte. And it's an exciting route. Let's have a look and see which line it's opted to use. There we go. It has selected the new track, which is fortunate. Otherwise, I'd have to muck around with all kinds of other bits and pieces that I don't really want to muck around with. Yeah, okay, right. Now all you've got to do is get the financing set. So this is going to be the Charlotte Toronto Express. Catchier name pending, but once I've got the thing rolling again, I'll walk you through, or I'll attempt to walk you through a little bit of the thinking for how this is all going to develop as we move on. First, however, we are going to need to get it over onto the bit of track we want to use. That's it. You can go real slow because you're coming out of a depot. Good. Right. So let's well, actually, I'm not sure I can price it up, but let's get things rolling so that there's at least money coming in, and let's follow a train at the same time because we've got a couple of minutes to wait here at least. Come here. There we go. Let's follow this American. Atlantic. It is American, but it's called an Atlantic. Right. Okay. So the overall plan is that between each of these stations there are going to be multiple routes. So there will be more than one route between New York here and Charlotte, right down there. And each one there will be a fast alternative and a slower alternative. And hopefully demand will be such that that we'll have business happening on both the fast and the slow lines. At least that's the hope. If it works, then it should lead to a situation where I've got a heck of a lot of trains running, and a lot of them will be running, you know, in parallel or on the same track, and it should keep it quite exciting. When it comes to airports, I want to kind of limit myself to maybe 3, maybe 4 airports in total throughout the entire playthrough, or at least that's passenger airports. With goods, I'm hoping to get a lot of goods distribution done by air already. Now, in a playthrough that I did, or rather a play forward I did from this save game, I tried a goods airport right next to my fantastic fuel setup up at Port Nelson. The downside, of course, is you can't transport fuel by air. Didn't know that in advance. Didn't know it until I tried to do it, and then it told me you couldn't do it. That was a fun hour going nuts, because I'd got delivery set up in 2 places, and everything was just, it was set up to be brilliant, and then it wasn't, and that made me sad. Right, okay, let's see what we've got here in terms of being able to set up a train. I don't think we're there yet, but we'll have a look. Okay, now, we want something that is blisteringly fast. Now, the Zephyr does 110, only carries 50 passengers, and at 850 grand a year, it's really going to have to pay off. That said, the Alco with the power booster is $1.5 million a year, and it's only 7 miles per hour faster. The good news, however, is that I could probably carry 200 plus passengers on there, but that's going to take some time to build up to. And then you look at the passenger wagon you'd want to use. Well, I'll say it was 117. The passenger wagons I'd want to use would probably be, so it's not New Mexico. New Mexico only does 93. Heavyweights do 112, and they're $1.5 million each to carry 19 passengers. $1.5 million each. I mean, seriously, who balanced this? Because that doesn't make any flaming sense. So it's going to be New Mexico's, and they're $1 million a throw. So maybe if we go with the non-power boosted version, don't worry, big boy fans, will find a purpose for it. 4.5 million, $750,000 a year. Right, okay, we've got 6.5 million available right now, which will allow me to buy the locomotive itself and then 1, maybe 2 carriages. That's not going to do it, so I'm going to keep repaying until we've got, I mean, what are we talking here? That's 4.5. 4.5, right? So 5.5 is 18. 6.5 is 36. 8.5 is 72. And you start getting somewhere. 9, let's call it 10, given that I've been rounding down. So 10 is, what are we talking about? 72, 80, 90. I don't know. I'm going to need this to carry over 100 passengers easily. And there's a new vehicle. It looks like a ship. And it is a ship. That's nice. And it's the very... Oh, we've got a couple of ships to choose from. This is, all of this is presenting considerable challenge. I'm not just doing maths in my head for laughs. Also 112, see, it's just so flaming expensive. Now, we made 4.2 million quid last year, right? That's not to be sniffed at, and I carved the interest down a little bit, but we're still a way off making this work. Why am I trying to place a port here? I pushed entirely the wrong button, but my instinct was correct. And that instinct, hold on, what was that? Oh yeah, that's what we're waiting to fulfill here. Let's not allow that any more replacements. How's about that for a scheme? Right, where were we? Here. We're here. We're all here. Everything's good. Right. I might send this crocodile back to the depot and stick an extra wagon on NNT brick. There's a thought. Now, and random thoughts. There we are. That's what's going on. Right. This vehicles. Here, replacement. No, replacement. Set vehicle. So this new, where are we? The Axalp? No. The Viola carries 250 instead of 150, and it does 19 instead of 16. So it's going to be faster. It's going to carry more. There are no circumstances under which that's not worth paying for. There we go. Right, that's one. And if I recall correctly, this is actually the last ship upgrade you get. Now, I really like that they add ships to the game, but, you know, if there's any modders out there that fancy doing something a little bit different, I could go for new kinds of ships. And because, you know, I feel like both ships and aircraft develop a style of gameplay that the original doesn't offer, which is slower paced and further apart. It's going to be ages before any of those replace. I mean, first you've got to wait for them to get into port. Right, okay, hold on. Right, now I've got 10 million quid. And part of the reason I pay the loan back so frequently is, you know, not only saving the interest, but also because the game can't touch it. So that 10 million quid is basically there the second I want it, because we'll hit pause to stop anything else taking it. What did I say 10 million would get me? 90 some odd passengers. Yeah, that's not quite enough. And really, what you're showing at the moment, man, is not the most riveting gameplay action these people have ever seen. You're occasionally pressing the repay button while talking and lamenting the fact that you don't have much cash. Let's go watch some ships. There we go. That's, you know, there's at least something happening here. I mean, you could just skip all of this stuff, but people will then complain about the fact that you've skipped over 10 years while you tried to make enough money to buy a single flipping train. Yeah, that was a view. That was a good view. Let's go to Port Nelson where the real action happens, and it's happening right now. Here we go. Do I want to upgrade it? Yeah, I think I probably do. It's going to mean longer before you get the train, but it's going to pay off quicker. All right, on your own head be it. Where are you heading to anyway? You're heading to Dublin. Right, so all being well, hold everything. Let's replacement 25%. There we are. I don't know how old this ship actually is. Now, eventually, it would be very nice to be able to have multiple ships running on all of these routes, because they pay off so nicely when they arrive. You know, it's a good $1.5 million hit. They are all profitable all the time. You'll go through, you know, 2-3 years where it's costing you their running costs, so, you know, 100 and some odd thousand, and then once every 3 or 4 years they land you 15 times that. There we go. That looks like an upgrade happening. Beautiful. Right, so 250 capacity, and it's taking 200 and change in bits. There you go. Good. Okay, right. Well, that's pretty good. And we've still got 9.5 million available to spend there, so that's splendid. Right, we can leave that running, and when it arrives in a couple of years' time, that's going to make me some mad cash. I could just fast forward to that, and we'd have the mad cash now, but I don't think we're going to do that. What's the output going here? 210. Yeah, I need to cultivate more routes coming out of here as well, because it's such a nice payoff that it's almost a waste not to do it. I mean, it's tempting to turn that into a, you know, one of the other things I'd do, given the money, is I'd make an oil distribution train network up here to hit the rest of North America. You know, they wouldn't deliver very often, which would mean that I would need, you know, monstrously huge trains. But since when is anybody ever going to complain about monstrously huge trains of a freight variety tearing it across America? I think that people would pay good money to see that. I certainly would. Right, let's go and have a look and see how the situation over here is, and I might shuffle round a wagon while we're still. So what are you taking? 56 of 72. So it's not even a full load. But when you get there, it will pay off reasonably well. Hold on, I want one more click on that. Given that. Yeah, it turns a profit every year, not a huge one, and that's because its running costs are starting to ramp up a little bit. But as mentioned earlier, repeatedly and badly, the ideal would be that we start running faster services down there. Now, there's not an awful lot of stuff waiting here. Where's the backlog? There must be a backlog somewhere. because we're not hitting full demand. 225 of 300. Oh, we are hitting full demand. Berlin's pretty much done. Paris is... No, Paris has got a fair shake to go. So, come on, you know, up the tempo as far as... Maybe the trucks aren't delivering enough. The trucks aren't delivering enough. All right, fellas. You know, how about you know, get the lead out. Haul it. Pick it up, son. And you're on 25% replacement. I love it when I leave that going. That's inspired. Right. Studebakers are uniquely USA. It would be nice to have something that could carry that much in Europe, though. What does the Benz do? 8. No. Opel, 11. That's what we're running. These are Opels. Oh. So the only solution is to buy a couple more of them. Well, we better do that then, hadn't we? Where's my nearest... Where's... I must have a truck depot around here somewhere. It's there, look. You just went past it. Right, let's just grab a couple of these. And I know this is, you know, this is counteracting my my saving up to conquer North America, which is, you know, the whole reason I dragged you here in the first place. The whole reason you're still here is because I said that's what we were going to do. Right, let's set those on to Paris Stone. Paris Stone. Off you go. Get to work. Make me money. Lots of it, please. Okay, where are we? December. We are down we're 2.5 million profit this year, but that includes having bought a 1.7 million, whatever that is, boat. Thank you, and 1.1 million quid's worth of road vehicles. What the hell did I just buy for 1.1 million? Oh, all of those Studebakers. Yeah, of course. Right. Okay, fine. Now, I'm sure there'll be a European equivalent replacement effort coming up fairly soon. So look, is there a ship close to Edinburgh? No. How about Tromsø? No. Although, where are you headed? You're heading in the right direction. You've got a full load. That's good, but you're not going to arrive this year. Where's Captain Payday? Who's going to Dublin, if I recall correctly. Where is Captain Payday? Oh, here he is, Captain Payday. Still very much in Canadian waters there. Right, 1.4 million in. So that gives me 11 million quid to play with. I might set it running. You know, we've had our time together for today. I need to start thinking about wrapping things up. So maybe maybe it's shopping time, and it'd be nice if I got another, maybe another 2 million quid's worth, so I could just get enough on there to make it worthwhile. And it is going to be ridiculously expensive to run. Tricky, very, very tricky. Let's look at some aircraft. There we go. Well, you know, I mean, I apologise for filling time, but I don't want to skip it, and I don't want to skip it because to do so would suggest that this is easier than it actually is. If you play with no costs turned on, and you know, I criticise no one for playing without costs turned on. You can build the transport network you've always wanted to build. Now, it doesn't stop me wanting to build it, but I'm just having to wait for ages in order to make the cash to do so. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got plenty of stuff that I could be running in a more efficient fashion if we bring up our leaderboard here. Where have we got? European mainline, 2.5. Beautiful. North American, 1.5. Great. That's a ship that made a delivery, 1.1. The Berlin brick train, doing, you know, 500,000. You see, I mean, you know, all of this good stuff. And then down at the bottom end, what have we got? We've got a ship, right? And that ship has lost 200 grand this year, but that's because it's about to deliver, and when it does, it's going to make me a bucket load of cash. The incredibly expensive and never well used Toulouse to New York, transatlantic passenger service. Never mind. 2 more fuel bulks, And then you're into double-digit thousand losses, and most of those are commuter services that help feed the others, so they get paid for in their own special way. But what we don't get is a lot of cash quickly. What are you making? 2 people. Well, mind you, I should be thinking about hooking Dublin up to another town or 2, which obviously I haven't done yet. Right, okay, 300,000 in the bank. Where are we? Let's take it through as close to the end of July as possible. Right there, 388. Plus the, how much have I got? Plus the 12 million that I've got in the bank. Right. If I can't get a, hold on, they've upped my limit. They could have told me I've got bucks galore. Right, okay, it's on. We're rolling. Buy a train. Now, Mr. Alco, don't let me down. I'm not going to use the power boosted version. What are we talking? 227 tractive effort. Now, tractive effort is the influences the acceleration, right? Whereas power gives you the kind of top speed. So it's only got a little bit more than this tilly little Alco here. Now we're running Americans on the other line, Atlantics on the other line, and they are quite feeble by comparison. Okay, right, good. Let's do it. I could do this with a higher author, I suppose, but I'm not going to. Flipping heck, Hiawatha's 7.5 million. The Alco is 4.5 million. Do I want the power booster? Do I want the power booster? It increases the running cost. It's 9 million up front if I want the power boosted version, and therefore no, I don't. But I may change my mind on this quite quickly. It's largely going to depend on what sort of speed we manage to get up to. So what do we got here? This or the New Mexico. New Mexico's a lot cheaper. It is a lot cheaper. Doesn't get up to the top speed. I don't think we're going to hit the top speed. Okay, let's do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get as many of these as I can. There we go. Right, now, repay 500,000. There we are. What does that give me? 171 passenger capacity, which is probably quite a lot more than is strictly needed. But let's run it. And then we will find out for certain. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this all the way up to Toronto, and obviously from the colour scheme, these two are supposed to be matched together, so so there is that. And look at all this cash coming in all of a sudden. Now I don't need it. It's just going to go in like, oh yeah, have some more money. Now, yeah, so I'm going to run this all the way up to Toronto. We'll see what sort of speed we get. And if that speed is lacking, we'll either crop some coaches, or we'll sell off the coaches we've got and go for the cheaper ones. This is quite a lengthy train. I don't think there's a chance in hell this gets anywhere near its top speed. But hey, we're gonna experience it together. Okay, so brace yourself for some experiencing. Also, we're not going to be carrying passengers initially. Now, I don't actually know if the game takes into account the number of passengers that you actually have on board when it comes to top speed. Because obviously, if you've got a full train passenger-wise, it's going to weigh quite a bit more than having an empty train. Right, here we go. So theoretically, top speed 112. That's the speed that these coaches max out at. Now, if we get overtaken by that Atlantic that was just coming in on the other platform, then we'll know we're in trouble. 26, 28, 29, 30. You know what I'm not feeling here? I'm not feeling the power. 34, 35 miles per hour now. Okay, we've hit 40. Brace yourselves, people. You know, this is a nerve jangler. Man was not meant to go this fast. Attractive though it may be. We're now up to 45. And it's weird. It's really hauling it. I have got too many coaches on this train. 48, 49. What's our... we're making 4,000 per kilometre, but we'd quite like to make that kilometre at some point in my own lifetime. There we go. Right, 53 now, and it is struggling to get any faster than that at all. Now, I'm certain there are calculators out there that will tell you, you know, where the sweet spot is for a train's power situation. But what I can tell you is whatever that sweet spot is, we are not in it. Right, going straight through New York, which is, you know, controversial because you'd probably want to stop in New York with a train of this kind. Why are you slowing down? You're going uphill a little bit, maybe. Well, whatever the reason, stop it. I mean, you want to open the throttle full up. Just, you know, really boot it. Because right now, you are just a very expensive plaything. And if I had any sense about me, I would immediately send you back to the depot. Although, use of the word immediately at this stage of the affairs is probably a little bit late. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say that 93 as a top speed is going to be enough, given that we haven't had it over 60 yet. And then when we turn around, we'll sell off everything we've got carriage-wise, replace them with the lighter version, and that hopefully should pay off. Hopefully. It does take its time, though, doesn't it? And, you know, the scenery might be glorious, but I haven't got all day, and neither have you. You've still got errands to do, and I'm just holding you up. And as much as, you know, you're entitled to blame me for that, when it comes down to it, you did that yourself. Right, 66, we've managed to hit 67, 68. Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, we're not setting any speed records here. Actually, we probably are. Another new state car. It's throwing state cars at me like there's no tomorrow. Probably because it knows that my construction material business is second to none. Right, now, have we got some? We have got some passengers waiting. That's nice. How many? Not a huge number. 11. Well, we're going to need more than that if this train is ever going to pay for itself. Because if it doesn't pay for itself, it could also bankrupt me. But we'll high speed this for now because, well, frankly, you know, it's fun riding at this speed. Wallop. You know, and what I want to do is get it back to the depot, reorganize it a little, and try and get it working a little more efficiently, and then hopefully we'll get some passengers straight through my favourite bit of the entire network. That's nicely done, and you know, and that's another bit of track that I would very much like to develop a bit more. Because there's some fun stuff happening there. Right, let's ease it off here. Let's actually make some money from these 11 passengers. And then we'll send it to the depot. Go on, how much was that worth? 177,000 off 11 passengers. So you can see already that, you know, if I get the speed up a bit, and the demand up a little bit, what do we got here? 58 waiting. That could actually pay quite handsomely. Now, the running costs are not low. Let's not pretend that they are. Right, pause the game. Right, let's move our locomotive up and then sell the coaches for 12.5 million quid. And then let's go buy cheaper ones for less than that. So we're going to go with these New Mexicos instead. What do we want here? Well, the weight is 30 tons versus the 35 tons. So we're saving on weight. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. 18. We had 171 capacity. 144 capacity feels quite good. It also feels like it's not something we're going to hit very quickly, so I can pay the loan down a bit and then stick it straight back into service, and it should go a bit faster. There we go. That's the plan. So there we go. We're going to wrap it up there. Let her roll. Let her rip. Let her go. Let her off. Yeah, there we go. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching today. Why have you closed the train window down? We're doing a speed run here. Let's rocket straight through the station. And again, I apologise for running at high speed, but you know we want to get this done. That's a good-looking service that has so many coaches on there. Up to 76 passengers. Now, get up to about 90 miles per hour and we're talking. Because what I'd like you to be is the train that funds massive expansion. Anything that funds massive expansion is all right in my book. Anyway, I've been Colonel Failure. Next time around, hopefully, we'll be in a position to modernise the actual main line in North America. Now, you know, we've got this second line running here, which, as you know, as we've shown, is oh, look at this for a. Oh, here we do this. Yeah. Oh, this is the stuff. We are faster than a train that's 40 years old. Not much faster. But yeah, there you go. The passengers in the back of this Alco are lording it over the saps who are travelling by Atlantic. Yeah, there you go. You've had quite enough. Throw a like at this one if you enjoyed it. We've still got some work to do here, I think, in order to really get this all going splendidly. We're still only doing 63 miles per hour. God, it really does need that power booster, doesn't it? And something else. Yeah, throw a like. You've done that. Good job. Well done. Subscribe if you've not yet done so. And if you are subscribed, push the little notification bell. And let me know if you've done so, because apparently pushing the little notification bell will give you a notification when I do something. I don't know, YouTube, man, they mess with their system on a regular basis. It didn't actually get much faster, did it? 72 isn't filling me with, oh, wow, fill the G-forces there. But I know you want to see how much this is going to pay off. I do as well. So let's find out. I've done all of the advertising for this episode. You know, I've told you to push all of YouTube's buttons. Come on, talk to me. And better be big money. I'm not kidding. It better be big money. I will sell you in a heartbeat. $1 million. That's what are we running? Our running costs are just under $1 million. That said, I've only been running it this year. There we go. It's now made a loss this year, but it has spent time in the depot as well. There you go. That's your lot. All right, I'm off. How many passengers? 38. Yeah, that's not brilliant. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon. Cheerio.